Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Renew Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have a great show. One of my favorite people in all of the internet is on with us this evening. So I'm like really excited to have her on. And she's as wonderful in person as she is on camera. So I hope you guys are pretty jealous now. But you at least get to watch us talking to her. So before we introduce our guest, I just want to give my host a chance to introduce herself.
Okay. Hello, I'm Sarah from the Smiling Lose Fat team. Yay!
All right, and I'm Khalif, Fat Guy Skinny Wallet. Yeah, I'm never gonna remember to say that when I'm supposed to. So,
You just did.
um, yeah, but I'm late with it all the time.
It's okay.
And Sherry Ann, my wife, she isn't able to be on. She wasn't feeling well, but I think she's gonna be watching, so you'll see her interacting there. All right, so as you can see, our guest is PinkFishLilly, Janine or
Hello.
Janina, Neen. She answers to a lot of things, but she's definitely been a huge inspiration for so many people in the weight loss community, those who've had surgery, those who haven't had surgery, and not just with weight loss, but other things that she's dealing with as well with her health that we may or may not have time to get into. We'll see where she takes it. But Janine, I just want to thank you for coming on the show.
It is my pleasure. It is an absolute pleasure to talk to you guys. I love the show. Love you, Cleve. Sarah, I wish I got to meet you in person, but unfortunately I didn't get to do that, damn it. So, but it's an absolute pleasure to get to spend some time with you guys tonight. It really is.
All right, so why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourselves, give us a chance to get to know you, and like I said before we came on, you can bring up as much or as little as you want.
Okay. Um, I lived on Long Island until the last couple months ago. Now I live in Staten Island. Very happy New Yorker, and absolutely adore it here. Adore Staten Island, loving it. Um, I have two parents that drive me crazy, but I love. I have a sister that I can't stand. Um, I had weight loss surgery 3 times. I'm not kidding. I had 3 out of the 4 weight loss surgeries available, and kind of a long story why I did that, and I will go into that later. First one I had in 2007. I had a lap band. Though I was pretty successful with the lap band, it didn't work out long term, and I needed to have a revision. So I had tried to have a duodenal switch, a biliopancreatic diversion with duodenal switch. Because I had such problems with my lap band, I had the band slipped, the band had eroded, the tubing became disconnected from the port, and I had adhesions. I was covered in adhesions internally. I needed to have the duodenal switch done in 2 parts. So I had to have a VSG first, and then a year later I had my intestines done for the duodenal switch. So the VSG was done in 2010, duodenal switch was done in 2011. So 3 surgeries later, I'm 255 pounds down. Highest weight on a scale was 398. I know I was bigger than that because when I went into my surgeon's office to have lap band surgery, I had to lose 50 pounds, and I never paid attention to the number she gave me before I lost those 50 pounds, and she started surgery. So I don't remember exactly how much weight I lost, but she weighed me first, told me to lose at least 50, and then come back in again and she'd start surgery on me. My lap band was done when I was 398. So 398 plus at least 50 pounds, that's how much I weighed. I just don't know what that number was. So I just kind of knock that off and I count myself at 398 because I just don't remember what that number was. But I was 450 something at some point. I just don't know what that number was, though. I kind of wish I paid attention, but I was so embarrassed by my obesity. I didn't want to know. I just wanted to la 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 and not pay attention to it. So I've kind of evolved. Not kind of. I evolved. From 2007 to now, I've become a different person. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful in so many aspects of my life. Wow. The amount of growing that I've done, the amount of changing that I've done, and it's all because of weight loss surgery. And wow, just the person that I used to be compared to the person I am today. It's been a painful transition, but through pain comes growth. And, you know, there is a quote that I always keep in my head, and it's that dreams don't work unless you do. Of being independent, of being social, having friends that didn't judge me, being around people that loved me, filling my life with happiness. And though it took 7 years now, or 8 years, to do it, I've done it. And I couldn't be more grateful if I tried.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, like, when did you realize that this time was different and you were changing or had changed? You know, when did you look in the mirror and say, yeah, this is me, or have certain thoughts and say, wow, I'm so different than I was? When was this solidified in your mind that you had changed, physically and mentally?
I think I have that, wow, I've changed epiphany every week. I think it's like every week I have a new one. I find something else about myself that has changed, and that makes me realize I'm a new person. So I really don't know when the first epiphany came, but wow, just so many aspects of my life changed. I started wanting to socialize. I started looking into meeting new people. I started forcing myself to getting out. I faked it till I made it, you know? That's really what you got to do. You got to fake it till you make it. You know, I was a total introvert when I was obese because I didn't want people to be near me. I didn't want to be near people. I didn't want anybody to judge me. So if I could hide in my house like a little introvert would, then nobody could see me, and that means nobody would judge me because nobody would look at me. So nobody would have a poor opinion of me because I wouldn't be putting myself out there to give them the opportunity to have a poor opinion of me. So I forced myself to say, screw that, and I went out anyway. And I started going on a website called Obesity Help, and this was in like 2007. I started going on a website called Obesity Help and met up with a bunch of people, and they would have little mini meet and greets in Manhattan, and I forced myself to go to one. And I met a lot of people, made a lot of friends, good friends, friends that I kept for quite some time. And I started to socialize. Now, I didn't know how to socialize because I had never really had to. I had a few friends before, maybe like 2 or 3, but when I was socializing in this group, I was forcing myself to socialize with 10 to 12 people, and that was totally new to me. So, you're throwing somebody who hates to be judged into a group of 10 to 12 strangers. It was very scary. I was very anxious, and I didn't know what to do, but I forced myself to do it. And when I was done, I was so proud of myself that I had done it that I almost got like a high. I totally did it, and I wanted to do it again because I wanted to feel that high of knowing that I could accomplish it, that I could get out there, and I could socialize, and I could feel like I had done something I wanted to do, be an extrovert. So I started socializing more. Before I knew it, I had turned into a frickin' social butterfly, which I really am. And it's ridiculous now. Like, if I don't hang out with somebody every other day, I get like jitterbugs. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I need to hang out with somebody. I need a phone call. I need something. If I don't talk to Kelly, Grow.333, if I don't talk to Kelly every single day, like, I start climbing the walls. Like, oh my God.
That's funny.
But, I need to socialize now. I've totally turned myself from an introvert to an extrovert. I have to have fun. I have to meet people. I have to make friends. And I love that this is what I've turned into, and I'm so proud of myself that I forced myself to do it. And now, I don't care who judges me. I don't give 2 shits. Go ahead. Judge me. Because, the truth is that people who judge other people judge themselves 20 times worse. And that's why they judge. Because they're too busy judging themselves. And they're trying to compare themselves to you. So let them have their own little, hurricane in their mind while you just sit there and, smile. It doesn't matter.
Yep. Awesome. Well, it's like your mental and your emotional transformation seems to be almost bigger than your physical transformation. Like your whole being has transformed into this totally new, like, awesome person, and you're much, you seem really, happy about who you are right now, and that's awesome.
I am.
My question is, now, the physical or the mental and emotional things that, you've changed from, you just mentioned that you notice, like, weekly how much you've changed, but physically, do you still catch yourself, maybe, like, see yourself in the mirror and be like, holy cow, that's me? Like, is it still surprising to you that, you don't weigh 400 pounds anymore?
Very much. I have severe body dysmorphia. When I look in the mirror and I put on clothes, I sometimes think that I'm fat, but then I will find those full-length mirrors in Target? They
Yeah.
have, I'll run by one of those in Target and I'll see somebody in the mirror and I'll be like, and I'll look and it's me. And in my head I was thinking to myself, who is that skinny girl? I think I
Mhm.
have that sweater. And then I'll look over. I know. And then I'll look over and I'm like, oh crap, that skinny girl with the sweater I have is me.
Mhm.
You know?
That's
I
awesome.
I do that all the time. I do that all the time. And it's creepy. It's
Yeah.
kind of creepy, you
I
know?
understand what you're saying, but I think people like who've had such a dramatic weight loss, I think you will probably do that forever. Like it's like because you
Yeah,
spent so much of your life being that bigger person, and this is still so new to you. I mean, even though it's been for a couple years, but it's still like wow, holy cow, that's really me. It's almost like, is this a dream? You like just want to make sure it's real still. You don't want to wake up and it all wasn't real. But that's awesome though.
absolutely. I was super, super morbidly obese for 32
Hmm.
years of my life.
Wow.
It is not going to snap out like that just
Mm-mm.
because I
Nope.
magically lost weight. It's going to take me a long time. Maybe by the time I hit 65, I'll get into the swing of things. But in the meantime, I'm still going to be, double checking myself in Target.
Mhm. Awesome.
So,
We got a couple of comments I just wanted to read. Heather Lynn Passmore, uh, I was talking about, you talking earlier about the going through the whole process in 2007. She says, Janine, it's a refiner's fire. All the excess falls away, and all that is left is pure gold.
I
And
100% agree.
Neva,
That was a
finding my
beautiful
new
comment.
normal.
That was beautiful.
I know I just had to read it. I almost wish I said it
Yeah.
myself, but I got to read it. So, Neva, finding my new normal. She says Janine's journey has been a real inspiration for me, not just the
I
weight
love my
loss.
Neva. I'm
I
sorry, go
know
ahead.
no, she is awesome. I love her.
I
She says
love her.
not just the weight loss, but also the health and life hurdles. I got to meet you in Atlantic City last year, and I'm looking forward to reconnecting. Your love of life is addictive. Big hugs from Neva.
I have a picture of Neva and her husband and her kids from the pictures from Christmas. It's still poked into my dry erase board. I still have the
Aw,
picture. Yeah, so it's sitting there. So Neva, I still stare at you guys every single day.
that's so
It's
sweet.
Yes, it's still I stare at it every day. I still have pictures of you guys. So I still have their Christmas pictures up.
Isn't
I
there?
love Neva.
Didn't someone take a picture of you sitting on Mike's lap at the meet and greet?
Yeah, probably, but I think
Um,
I was drunk, so I don't 100% remember.
okay, okay. I mean, Neva was right there. It wasn't like you were flirting with her husband. I mean, but it was. I think it was like because he said he had like such a crush on you, watching your videos and everything like that.
Yeah, I
I remember
probably did, and then I probably sat on Neva's lap because I have a crush on Neva.
that.
So, whatever.
That's funny.
Yeah, you
I
definitely
don't
are a
know.
social butterfly.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know.
So, all right, can you just describe how it was um, growing up? Whether you talk about your family or being in school or whatever, just growing up being obese, how was it for you?
Okay. Ooh. My father, all right, well, number one, I'm Italian, and we don't do um, in an Italian household, in a typical Italian household, we don't do quick meals.
Mm.
Meals are done extravagantly every night.
Yeah.
In 1 week, it would be typical to have a a, a beef stew, steak, maybe a roasted chicken, pasta, of course, on Sunday, lamb, and I don't know, some other type of meat. We ate red meat probably 5 times a week, ate chicken once a week, and pasta once a week. So we didn't eat healthy. So that was number one. And with all these meals came extravagant side dishes. You know, mashed potatoes, choose your fancy. We made it. It's just typical. So with that, my sister was the squeaky wheel. I have an older sister. She's 3.5, 4 years older than me. My sister was the squeaky wheel, and I was always the quiet one. My sister was the one who screamed for attention. Because of that, I had anxiety when I was younger. My parents paid attention to her just because she was the squeaky wheel, and they wanted to shut her up. But I could be left alone. It was very typical for my parents to put me on the couch with some chips and turn on Sesame Street and ignore me until Mr. Rogers was over, you know? So for 2 hours, I was left alone on the couch watching Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers with some chips. Well, I learned through that behavior that food numbed my anxiety. And food was a drug. Food was a drug. And on top of that, in my house, food was damn good. Food was damn good in my house. We didn't eat no, grody stuff in my house. It was some good shit. So I used to sneak food. I would eat a lot, and my parents let me because I was a good kid. Not until I was about 8 years old and very obese did my parents realize what a huge problem this was. And I remember because I was on one of those teeter-totter things where you sit 4 kids. You know, they look like animals, like
Yeah, like on
I
the
don't know, like,
springy coil.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those bad boys.
Yep.
And we had just finished gym class, and I was sitting on it with 3 of the girls from gym, and it was physical day in gym where you all get weighed and your height checked, and we were talking about how much we weighed, and the girls were going around, and one of the girls, now we're 8 years old, in 3rd grade, and one of the girls said she felt fat because she was 70 pounds. And I swear to you, I was 121.
Wow.
And she was 70 and she felt fat.
Hmm.
So, just to give you an idea of how big I was when I was 8, I almost doubled her size of an 8-year-old. So, when I hit about 10, my dad said something to me about me getting fat and that no boys are going to like me. My dad is not a sensitive man. Very typical manly man, doesn't know how to talk. So when he said that, my food intake pretty much tripled at that point. But of course, it tripled in secrecy. I used to hide the food in my room, stuff myself until the second I felt I was not going to vomit anymore, I'd eat again, and then again, and then again. I remember going to my neighbor's house, who was my best friend at the time. Her name was Jen. I remember eating dinner at her house at about 6 o'clock at night. And then at about 7:30 at night, I went to my parents' house. I went back home again and having dinner there. So I had 2 dinners an hour and a half apart. And it was just because it numbed my anxiety. It numbed my pain. A lot of this was because I hated my sister. My sister hated me. I got tortured. I got bullied. I got made fun of at school. I got no praise from my parents ever. Ever. They just didn't praise me. They ignored me because I was the quiet one. They were too busy paying attention to my sister because my sister was always complaining, always crying. Something always wrong with my sister, always. And my sister started drugs at a very early age. I remember being 11, and I think I was 11, 10 or 11, and I was in my sister's room, and that means my sister was 13 or 14 years old. And my sister showed me a piece of paper, a small piece of paper, with a whole bunch of stamps on it, pretty stamps. And I was only 10 or 11, so I didn't know. I just saw pretty stamps. And I don't know if you guys know what that is, but when I got older, I realized that what those stamps were on that piece of paper was acid. So my sister showed me herself doing acid in front of me when I was 10 or 11 years old. Great sister. I started that very early. And of course, the drugs got more severe, and which caused her to have problems, which caused her to be more needy to my parents, which caused my parents to ignore me even more. So I never got attention from my parents. It was just yeah, Janine's fine. Janine will handle it. Janine's okay. Janine's strong enough. Janine will do it. And that's all I got. And that's a lot of anxiety to put on a girl. A lot. When you don't get any direction from your parents, you don't get any praise from your parents. Not only did I get anxiety from not getting any direction, but I got no praise. And when I got no praise, I never felt I was worthy of praise. Therefore, never worthy of praising myself. Hence, I am 35 years old and I still have horrific self-confidence issues because I don't praise myself because I never felt I was worthy. Now, granted, this is stuff I'm working on with a therapist, but this is why I have the issue. I never got praise. and I never knew I was worthy of it. This is, and all these issues still go on. They still just pay attention to my sister at 39 years old. They still ignore me, and I still get no praise. My sister is no longer a drug addict, even though she was for 16 years, I think, 16. And now she's just an alcoholic, and she smokes pot. Excuse me. And, she's in debt heavily to my father, but yet they only pay attention to my sister, and ignore me because Janine can handle it. My sister lives at home with my parents, and she's trying to run a food truck, trying. So she's there because she's not. But I'm living by myself in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I get not even a good luck champ. I don't even get that. So, this is just bullshit that I have to deal with. And it causes anxiety, and it breeds the food addiction. Because I'm dying to numb that pain. I'm dying to numb that anxiety. And I want to eat. I want to numb that pain. I want to numb that anxiety. And all of this bred it. And that's what I did. I ate. I just ate. That was my drug. I ate. And it's horrible.
Yeah, it is. Well, what you had said about how your dad told you, if you didn't lose weight, then no boy would ever like you. That's like the prime example of when people are trying to fix something, they say something that makes you do the exact opposite of what they're trying. There's no, it just drove you to eat more and more because what he said hurt you, and he didn't even,
Oh, yeah.
It was just, he thought, well, that'll teach her, and then magically all your problems will be solved and you'll be skinny. But no, it just drove you more into it. And I think a lot of people do that because they just don't think. And, I've heard people making comments like that to even just complete strangers. And sometimes I don't understand, how people's thought process works. So.
Yeah.
But, wow.
No, I 100% agree. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know why he thought that was going to motivate me.
Yeah.
Plus, he said it to a 10-year-old.
Exactly.
What was I going to do with my own weight as a 10-year-old?
Exactly.
What was I going to do? Join Jenny Craig on my own? What was I going to do?
Yeah, really. And at 10 years old, you're so fragile, you're still striving for, you want, especially a lot of times for little girls, you want daddy's attention and you want to be daddy's special girl, you're striving for that attention. And then but I mean, what you've gone through and where you are in your life right now, I mean, it's amazing that you have just taken that, and I know you're still struggling now, but you're doing something about it, and you're like trying not to turn to food, and you're trying to find another outlet, and that's so commendable. I mean,
Thank you.
That's really awesome, and well done to you.
So much. Thank you.
Yeah, so what would you say are some of the things that you have done to or have in place of food, especially after having the surgeries, which made it a little harder, but I know you're dealing with some of that mentally. So, what do you do now to take that anxiety and try to numb and calm that pain, since you're not turning to food?
thank God I have more friends now, and I talk it out. I try to talk it out big time. I also have a therapist, and in my opinion, crazy people don't have therapists. You know what I mean? It's not that crazy people do have therapists. Crazy people don't have therapists.
Crazy
I think
people don't think
therapists.
they're crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Um, Therapy is so healthy. It's so healthy. And I have an amazing therapist that God put in my path. He's so helpful. He talks things through me, and he's a good advice giver. And I either email him, or I have sessions with him, or I talk to my friends, and I just talk it out. Also, I am lucky enough with my surgery that I can eat, but I don't stuff myself anymore. The food addiction is kind of gone, um, but I still do go for food because it's just a trigger in my head. Um, but I don't stuff myself anymore. I do eat, and then when I realize what I'm doing and I realize I'm not even hungry, I stop myself and I'll take a nap. I force myself to relax by forcing myself to take a nap. I try to take a nap. I'll just lay down and just, that's it, Janine, shut off. Just shut off. And I'll try to
Wow.
take a nap.
I should do that. Like when I'm taking naps, I should just tell people, leave me alone. I'm stressed out right now. I'm taking a nap. You know, that's really
Yeah.
good. I love naps. So you just encouraged me to take more naps. This is good.
Naps are really are. Naps are so therapeutic.
Excellent.
We have a question from Indigo Sky.
I love her.
And she asks, how did your family feel about you getting weight loss surgery?
Ah, okay, let me build some more haters against my family. You ready?
You got a solid base right now, I think.
Oh, God. There's going to be, like, people with torches outside my family's house soon. So, my family was against all 3 of my surgeries.
Wow.
They thought I was wasting my time getting a lap band, told me I could lose all 400 and change pounds if I just ate right, ate less, exercised, yada yada, and did that. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, to my parents, you a-holes, don't you think I've been trying to do that for the last, 27 years of my life?
Right.
It obviously ain't working. I need help. I need somebody or a thing to hold my hand and help me through this. And they just didn't want to hear that I couldn't do it all by myself. They were so against it, so against it. My father wouldn't even come to the hospital to say hi to me. And not until the day of my surgery did my mother even, come and talk to me about it. So that was surgery 1. Surgery 2, I had in New York City, and my dad, when I told him I was having it done, my dad's exact expression was, that was my dad's expression. Just eyebrows up and a big deep breath out, in pure disappointment. Pure disappointment. He was like, here we go again. Like that. And then when I had to have the second half of my duodenal switch done, to have my intestines done, he was like, do you really need it? Do you really have to have it done? Is this really necessary? And
Yeah.
at that point, I was just like, I shut him out. And I was like,
Mhm.
enough, Daddy, enough.
Mhm.
I just shut him out. They were
Wow.
against all of them. And they weren't happy with any of them. And not until I got to about 180 pounds did my dad start becoming proud of the fact that I lost weight.
Wow.
Wow.
So I had to go from 450 something to 180 before he would show any sort of pride in my weight loss.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm. What is your current weight now, if you don't mind?
I'm sorry, honey, you broke up.
Oh, what is your current weight right now?
138.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
just amazing to me. You lost me. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's well done. I just can't, but wow. Well,
Yeah.
your whole family should be extremely proud of
Yeah.
you. They're missing out.
Yeah, those SOBs should, but they're just not.
Yep.
Mhm. So, all right, do you have as any regrets as far as, especially with getting the lap band? I mean, do you wish you didn't get the lap band at all, or went to a different doctor, or just, I guess, express how you feel about that?
I wish I did not get the lap band first because though I did lose some weight with the lap band, it was just a stepping stone for me. And at the time, in 2007, um, the DS, the duodenal switch, wasn't well known. And I think there was only one doctor in New York State that did it. Now there's only 2 doctors in New York State that perform the duodenal switch, and they're both in Manhattan. And like I said, I was living on Long Island, so I was looking at doctors that could perform my surgery on Long Island, and I didn't know, or I didn't think of traveling. Um, I didn't think it would be an option for me. I wasn't adventurous enough of
Mm-hmm.
just traveling into Manhattan and staying in Manhattan and having it done. So I didn't even look into a surgery other than gastric bypass or um, the lap band. So I only had those 2 options at the time if I were to stay on Long Island. If I had used my brain and I had opened my spectrum in miles, I would have seen that the duodenal switch was available to me if I had just gone into Manhattan. But I didn't do that. I wish I had gotten the duodenal switch, in 2007 because it would have saved me some time, and it would have saved me some money on 3 surgeries instead of just having co-payments on 1 surgery.
Right.
That would have been better. But the duodenal switch is very rare. There's only there's under 3, and not all those doctors are pros at it. So you gotta be real picky on which doctors you pick.
Yeah.
And it's a very complicated surgery. It's not easy. It's a 4-hour surgery, whereas I think the bypass takes an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
Lap band takes about an hour. Duodenal switch takes 4 hours.
Wow.
VSG is like an hour and 15. So
Wow.
You got to be real careful about doing the duodenal switch. Um, it's very hard to learn, and you got to do a lot of work to be certified to do it. So that's why not every doctor does it. It's very difficult, and I didn't know that, so I had to learn a lot and be very picky on which doctor I chose. So I'm happy that I found the duodenal switch. I love it. It has its negatives. It has its drawbacks. Every surgery does.
Yeah.
You know, when I had my lap band, you think I liked getting poked in the stomach to get fills? No, that wasn't fun. But, you know, we all deal with it. When I had VSG, I felt like I dumped in the beginning. You know, I felt like I had dumping syndrome in the beginning. That sucked. But we all got, there's cons to everything.
Yep.
So, you know, but now I have the DS and I've got my cons, but I deal with it.
Yep.
And I'm happy.
Cool. Cool. I have a question that totally has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about, going a total different direction here.
Purple's my favorite color. No, I'm kidding. It's actually pink, but go ahead.
Oh, well, I love purple, so...
No, pink is my favorite color. I'm teasing.
I was wondering, where did your YouTube name come from?
Pink is my favorite color.
Okay.
Fish, because I love fish. I'm very nautical, and if you look, hold on. If you see right there,
I see your fish, yes.
Yes, I love nautical stuff. I'm a summer baby, and I was born in July, and so just fish stuff in general just makes me happy. And Lily, my sister, always calls me Lil or Lily because I'm little.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm short. I'm only 5'2".
Oh, yeah, shorties unite.
There you go.
I'm 5'1½".
You go, girl. So, and my sister's 5'7", so compared to her, I'm little.
Yeah, you are.
So
Definitely.
she calls me Lily. So
well,
that's where
cool.
PinkFishLilly came from.
Well, that's a neat little story about your YouTube name.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so my wife Sherry Ann, Jazz wife Kane, she has a question.
Hi, Sherry Ann.
She wrote, what are some of the health challenges you have faced or are facing? How are you able to cope without falling back on food as a mechanism?
Okay, health challenges. If we're just talking about, you know, weight loss surgery related, definitely vitamins. Vitamins. You gotta take them. When you get the DS, when you get the duodenal switch, you have got to take your vitamins. And I'm going to be honest with you, and everybody who has, I do not take my vitamins. I should, and I don't. Feel free to smack me. I know I'm terrible. It's just because I take a lot of pills, I take a lot of medicine for other things, and I am tired of swallowing pills. I know about the patch. Don't tell me about the patch. I know about it, and I will get the fucking patch. But in the meantime, I'm not taking the pills. So, vitamins. You got to worry about the vitamins. Other stuff to worry about health-wise. Protein. You got to keep your protein up. I keep my protein up to about, always over 100. I try to keep it up to about 120 to 150 a day. And that's really it. I just keep my fat high, and I keep my carbs relatively low. So that's kind of like programmed in my brain. Like, I almost never go for carbs. if I see something with protein, I jump for the protein. It's just kind of programmed now. So, but other health stuff is just, my back, my epilepsy, knock on wood, is in remission. But just my back sucks, and that's it.
So, do you mind elaborating on that, especially because you actually had to have surgery? I don't know if you had one or
Which
two.
one? I had surgery for both, honey.
For the epilepsy. I can't remember if you had one or two.
Two.
Okay, you did have two. Okay.
I had 2 craniotomies. Craniotomies are brain surgeries. In January of 2014, I had my first craniotomy. I had my first brain surgery. And they put my head in a block and sawed open my skull and put what's called a grid on my brain. A grid is a floppy piece of kind of like plastic with a whole bunch of electrodes on it. And they laid the grid on the left temporal lobe of my brain, and then they put the piece of skull kind of sort of back on top, kind of sort of, and then they wrapped my head in a whole bunch of, I guess, like cloth gauze, and left it there. So I was not secured. My skull was pretty much open, and my brain was semi-exposed. The grid was on my brain, and my brain was semi-exposed with just cloth wrapped around my head. They left me in a room with a whole bunch of nanny cams, basically, and a nurse 24 hours. There was always a nurse in my room. And they watched me. I think it took about 10 days for me to have some seizures. And then I had the seizures. They watched with that grid on my head the activity. And then in February, the beginning of February of 2014, they took the grid off, put my head in a block, sawed a little more of my skull off, and removed part of my left temporal lobe. And then they put me back together again. I've got some pins in my head. I don't know if they're pins or nails, or I don't know what the fuck they are. I got like bumps. I got bumps in my head. I don't know. And put me back together again. And with the exception of one, I'm sick. I had a fever, and I had alcohol in my system. I was incredibly tired, and I did not take my medicine, so I had 4 things wrong, all going at once. With the exception of that one time, I have not had a seizure since.
Wow.
So it put my epilepsy in remission.
That's great.
Yep.
Amazing.
And I was having 6 seizures in 30 days.
Wow. It's
Yes.
amazing what doctors can do, with medicine and stuff like that. That's amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
So they totally knocked my epilepsy to the ground. I'm still taking medicine for it. I take a lot of medicine for it. But I don't care.
Yeah.
Anything I have to do to make me not have seizures, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather take medicine than have to deal with seizures, for sure.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm blessed.
Wow, it's amazing.
Awesome.
So you might as well tell us about your back now, since you talked about brain surgery.
Hey. So Oh, God, 2014 was a rough year. In October of 2014, I was in the right-hand lane of the Throgs Neck Bridge, and I was at a full stop because of traffic, and some a-hole behind me hit the left back end of my car going about 40 miles an hour, pushed me into the car in front of me, but because he hit the left section of my car, it spun me around. It made me hit the wall of the bridge, made the left side of my car hit the guy in front of me again, and then I got smushed with the guy that hit me. So I got hit 3 ways. Four ways. I got hit in the back, in the front again, and then on the left side. And they didn't think I was going to make it out alive. When they saw me moving in the car, I heard the EMTs go, "She's moving, she's alive, she's moving, she's alive." So they thought I was dead. They didn't know I was going to move. The car was that bad. It was that smushed. It wrecked my car, obviously. It's, dead. And it shattered my L1 vertebrae. It busted 2 discs, and it broke my 10th rib on the left side. So I had to have my spine fusion from T11 to L3 with 2 titanium rods put in my back. And though it's helping my spine fuse, it's causing severe pain. So in about 2 months, I'm going to have more x-rays and CT scans done, and the rods are probably going to come out. So that'll be surgery 3 on my back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You're one tough woman. Man, they can't keep you down. You just keep getting back up. You're like, come on, let's go. Wow.
Getting tired of this, girl. I'm getting tired of it.
I bet, but you keep going. You keep going.
I have to.
Yep.
I have
wow.
This is why you inspire so many people. Just
Yep.
because you're able to go through this, you've lost probably over 300 pounds, considering your highest, and you're doing all this, and you're one of the sweetest, nicest people, in the entire weight loss community, and you're from New York and still have all that going on. So, so it's this is why you inspire so many people.
Wow.
I want to inspire people,
You do, and I guess the second half of Sharon's question was how are you able to cope without falling back on food as a mechanism? I mean, not just with the anxiety, but just this stuff, just sitting around thinking about, okay, what you're going through or feeling a bunch of pain. How are you not running to food all the time when that was something you did for 30 years?
Therapy and friends. Therapy, friends, and naps.
Okay.
Go in naps.
Yep. Therapy, friends, and naps. That's all I can do. Therapy, talking to friends, and naps. That's all I can do. Just sleep it away, talk it out, or cry it out in therapy. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. Awesome. I want to help people. That's all I want to do. I just want to help people. It's been hard for me, and I know how hard it is for other people. And if there is a thing I can do for other people, I want to.
Yeah.
So we're almost out of time now. Wow. So I just want to give you a chance to say anything that you want to say. if there's someone watching and this is your chance to help somebody with a message, what do you want to leave people with? What do you want them to remember after having listened to what you said for an hour?
I don't really have like a message, just that I love this community. Almost every single video that I make, I always say that I love you. And, on this video, I love that we can come together and meet each other. We need to be less judgmental because we're all in this together. And I want us to be like a family because we need to help each other. And I want to help anybody I could possibly help. So if anybody is watching and there's anything I could possibly help you with, message me on Facebook, go to my YouTube channel, message me on YouTube, and let me know, and I will more than happily help you. This has become a passion for me to help you guys. I love it. I love making anybody's life just a teeny bit easier if I can. It makes me happy to make you happy.
That makes me happy.
Good.
Yeah, this is a beautiful sentiment. All right, well, we are out of time now. So, just thank you for coming on. Thank you for being so
Yes.
open. And,
Thank you for having me.
it was great. It was exactly what I expected it to be.
And I kept my profanities down.
Yes, you did.
You did great.
Yeah, and if people are watching and you think that's an easy thing, just watch one of her videos.
That's right.
Just watch one, and you'll know that she was like on her best behavior for this entire hour. So, everybody out there watching. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you won the title like twice in a row now, right?
Yes, I did. I am the reigning champion of F-bombs.
So, just thank you for, like I said, for coming on, for just being so genuine and honest. Everybody watching, thank you for your comments, thank you for the questions, and just for tuning in and giving us support. Yeah, that's it. We're gonna just close off, and we'll be making an announcement sometime in the later part of the week. And just hope you see that as well, and that you're having a wonderful week. All right, guys, take care.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.